What I want to do today is go backwards. I'm going to flip it on you. I'll give you a bunch of angles congruent. You tell me what lines have to be parallel and why. Okay, what lines have to be parallel. I don't know if you guys carry colored pencils on you. If you carry, like, even if it's just two different colors, that's all you really need. So if you want to get those out, you can. It's not a big deal if you don't have them. I just think it might be easier to see. If not, it's fine. So here's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to give you angles are congruent. Can you tell me any lines are parallel or not? Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'll give you lines or I'll give you some angles are congruent. Can you give me any lines that are parallel? Okay. So first one, right off the bat, I'm going to tell you angle 1 and angle 2 are congruent. Does that mean any lines are parallel? And if so, which ones and why? So ready, here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I tried to explain to you guys at homework. Where's angle 1? I'm just going to slightly highlight angle 1 and just really lightly highlight angle 2. Do they have a side in common? What line do they have in common? Line U. That's your transversal. And what are the other two lines that it's making up? R and S, which are parallel. If they have a line in common, which is U here, they got to be some type of special angles. So knowing 1 and 2 are congruent here on number 8 tells me which lines are parallel. R congruent to S. What type of angles are 1 and 2? Okay, they're corresponding. Everyone agree? Corresponding? Do you see how I got R and S to be parallel? And TU has to be the transversal because it's what they have in common. Ready for your reason? Remember what we wrote in the reasons column yesterday. Parallel lines imply corresponding angles congruent. Flip it. That's what you're implying the parallel lines now. Ready? Corresponding angles congruent imply parallel lines. So I'm just reversing the reason from yesterday. All right, let's go. 1 doesn't make us great. 2 and 9 are congruent now. And you can just look up on my diagram because I know you're going to be highlighting like crazy, and then the whole diagram is going to be highlighted, right? Ready? 2 and 9. Right away, do they share a side? What line do they share? S. So there's your transversal with what parallel lines now? Look at the rest of the diagram. UN. See how easy this becomes? They have to share a line. They have to. U parallel to V. Now you guys just have to figure out what type of angles are 2 and 9. Sorry. 2 and 9. Look where they are in respect to U and V. Are they inside or outside? Oh boy. They're alternate exterior. So ready? Alternate exterior angles congruent imply parallel lines. How are we doing so far, right? I'll do 2 more maybe, and I'll let you do the rest real quick. Here we go. Let's wake it up. 10, 5, and 7. 5, 7. Do they share a line? V, that's my transversal, meaning what 2 lines are parallel? R and S again. Nice. R parallel to S. What type of angles are 5 and 7? Alternate interior. So alternate interior angles congruent implies parallel lines. Ready? 7 and 8 add to 180 now. Ooh, add to 180. Where's 7 and 8? Right here. and right here, they share a line? Yo, yeah, they do. Okay. So what two lines should be parallel here? U and V? RNS. What did I give you? What are 7 and 8 now? And remember, they added to 180, so they are same side. So same side, interior angles, not congruent, but I'm going to write supplementary, imply parallel lines. Okay, ready? I'm going to skip over one and I'll let you do the rest. I'm going to go to number 14 right now. Number 14. 3 and 7. Problem? They don't share anything, right? So guess what? They're not any special type of angle. So we're going to say, if any, are no lines parallel. Because they're not alternate interior, same side, corresponding, they're nothing. Everyone see why? They have to share a line to have some type of special relationship. All right, what do you guys got left? 12, 13, and 15? Go right ahead. 12, 13, and 15. Thank you. I'm just going to get going here because I want to make sure we get through the two proofs we have to do. 12, 3, and 6 are supplementary. So which lines were parallel? U and V. And to save even more time, same side interior angles, supplementary, imply parallel lines, right? They're same side interior. 13, 3 and 5. What lines were parallel? Ready? Here's 3. Here's 5. They share, looks like they share S, right? They share a line S, so the parallel lines, the other sides were U and V. What type of angles were they? So alternate interior angles, congruent, imply parallel lines. And then 15 was 4 and 5. So what lines were parallel there? R and S. What type of angles were they? Corresponding angles, congruent, imply parallel lines. Okay? Is this getting a little better now? You got to make sure. No, Grace?
No.
What's going on?
I'm just like.
Where? Just tell me. Help me out here. Do you see what I mean by a line in common when you highlight them? Okay? Meaning the other two lines have to be the parallel. So in 3 and 5, I see that they have S and they share S, right? Meaning the other two sides of that angle, 3 and 5, have to be the parallel lines, U and V. Right? Now I just have to determine what type of angles they are. And in this case, they were inside U and V, opposite sides of S, so that makes them alternate interior. Okay? Maybe, yes?
Kind of.
Okay, you just got to help me out, though. I'll do whatever I can, though. All right, just got to help me out. Other questions here? Okay, now comes the big question. Can we do a proof, proving parallel lines? So I'll do a basic one with you, then we'll get a little bit more advanced. All right. Notice how it's kind of flipped from yesterday? Your givens and your proof kind of flipped. Yesterday, I always gave you parallel lines. Today, you're proving parallel lines. So you got 2 congruent to 1, 1 congruent to 3. Can I get ST and UV congruent? All right, let me stop right here. Does anybody see any type of special angles we've talked about using line segments ST and UV? Anybody see any special type of angles formed there? Alternate interior, corresponding, same side interior. Anybody see any using ST and UV? What do you see, Tim?
Angle 2 and angle 3 are alternate.
Everyone agree angle 2 and 3 are alternate interior? That they're not congruent though. Why not? The lines aren't parallel. So don't think 2 and 3 are congruent. The lines aren't parallel. But ready? If you could get me 2 and 3 congruent, what would I know about the lines? Now they would be parallel. So that's your job right now. Forget about the parallel. Can you get lines 2 and 3? I mean, angles 2 and 3 congruent. Well, go ahead, Grace.
Can you use substitution?
Well, I'm getting. Relax. I'm getting there. I got it. You're getting ahead of me here. Everyone agree? If you can get me 2 and 3, I got parallel lines because they're alternate interior angles. That would be congruent. Grace, how can I get it?
Substitution.
Pretty easy on this one, right? I gave you everything in the givens. 2 congruent to 1, 1 congruent to 3. So 2 congruent to 3. But you got to put substitution. Again, I'm stressing this big time. Why can you not tell me 2 congruent to 3? Because alternate interior angles are congruent. You got to have the darn lines parallel to be congruent. So this is just substitution, no other reason. All right, you got 2 congruent to 3. What type of lines do I have now? Parallel lines. ST parallel to UV. Reason? Yeah, I got to start with the alternate, not the parallel lines. Alternate interior angles congruent imply parallel lines. Questions? Okay, let's sniff a little bit tougher one. Oh boy, huh? JM is parallel to KN. 1 and 2 are congruent. 3 and 4 are congruent. Ooh. And you are going to see this box with the arrow all throughout your homework this weekend too, to try to help you guys out. Okay, try to help you guys out. If I need KM parallel to LN, So everyone look at KM and LN. Can you find a special pair of angles that are formed by KM and LN? Because I want to break this down even simpler, this proof. If KM is parallel to LN, what we need to prove, can you guys find a pair of angles up there that would be congruent if KM and LN were actually parallel? KM, and LN, the ones we're trying to prove parallel. Can anybody see any special type of angles up there? Can we see? Look, everyone look. Can you see any special angles formed by KM and LN? What are they, Chloe?
2 and 4.
2 and 4. Everyone agree? 2 and 4. So I'm going to break this down even simpler. Forget about proving the lines parallel. Your first job is what two angles again?
2 and 4.
Prove to me 2 and 4 are congruent first, guys. Because if you do that, you got parallel lines. All right. So this, I'm trying to break it down a little bit more simpler. Forget about the parallel lines until the very end. Show me 2 and 4 are congruent. Because if you can do that, you got yourself parallel lines. So let's make that our first job right now. 2 congruent to 4. Well, there's no substitution right away. Everyone agrees? I can't substitute 1 and 2, 3 and 4. There's no repetition. Can I use these parallel lines to my benefit? Yeah, I can? Go ahead, Grace. What can I do?
One is congruent to angle 3 because they're corresponding.
Okay, there we go. 1 is congruent to 3. Ooh, how do I start this reason off?
Parallel.
There we go. Okay. See, now because I was given parallel lines, that implies corresponding angles congruent. Ooh, how are you going to get me to 2 and 4? Now we're really making it difficult. Maddie, go ahead.
Substitution.
Not once, though.
Twice.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Because, look, how many equal quantities do I have written down? 3. You can only use substitution with 2. So that tells you I need to use how many substitutions, Maddie? 2. So somebody pick 2 of the 3 you can use substitution on right now. Tim.
Angle 3 is congruent to angle 2.
So you're using these 2 right here. Okay, so I'm using the first and the third to imply that, yes, 2 and 3 are congruent. Substitution number 1. Where does substitution number 2 come in?
4.
Which 2 quantities am I going to use now? 3 equals 4 and 2 equals 3. To come out with, what do you got, Matt?
Angle 2 is congruent to angle 4.
Yes, it is. And that's what we wanted, right? 2 congruent to 4. Second substitution. And isn't that what you told me what we needed? So if 2 is congruent to 4, what lines are parallel now?
KM and LN.
There you go. KM parallel to LN. What would be your reason here? Corresponding angles need a little more extra there. No, they don't. They have to be congruent corresponding angles. So corresponding angles congruent imply parallel lines. Look at your homework real quick. Look at it. Just scan through. Do you see how I put? That's where I want you to start the proof. If I'm asking you to prove these lines parallel, first write down what angles should be congruent and then prove those angles congruent. Okay? That's your first. Make it a little bit simpler, hopefully. And we'll see where we end up on Monday. Is that what I had at the bottom?
Well, no, you didn't give us the top number. You just...
Yeah. 11 through 13. Don't doubt me. Yeah, don't doubt me. And then Monday, all review. All review on Monday. Taking a day off. Review for the test, the quiz on Tuesday.